This is incredible. This is truly game-changing. If President Trump can get signed into law what he announced today, well, he'll effectively pump the entire stock market and most likely the crypto market for the next 4 years. So of course, in this video, I'll be breaking it all down, everything you need to know. But on top of that, I also want to add in my own short-term market predictions and why I believe the bulls are still in control. But before we get to any of that, if you enjoy these type of market breakdowns, breaking news stories, and really everything related to the economy and the stock market, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good jazz. With that being said, let's rock. When the world's largest casino officially closed today, Monday, June the 9th, here was the headline. S&P 500 posts back-to-back gain as traders are optimistic about the US-China trade talks making progress. So yes, technically we did have a gain, although it was a pretty small one. We gained not even 0.1%, but hey, ever since this recent low, we are up a sky-high 24%, so I'll take it, and we're really not that far away from the all-time high. We're only down about 2.3%. So the SPY ended up gaining just below 0.1, the Nasdaq just above 0.1, the small cap sector actually did the best, gaining 0.7, and Bitcoin, as I'm filming this, looking really good, up about 2.6%. As you can see with our favorite equities, some of them green, some of them red. That's what we can see in the heat map of the S&P 500, very much a mixed bag situation. So that's your snapshot of what went down to kick off the newest week of trading in June. I'm really not interested in wasting any of your time, so let's get to the exciting stuff right away. I want to talk about the Invest America Act. Now, to be clear, this is not signed into law yet. It's going to be an act with the overall bill that they're trying to pass. But if they can get this passed, man, oh man, is it exciting. President Trump. Every U.S. citizen born between December 31st, 2024 and January 1st, 2029 will receive a one-time $1,000 contribution from the U.S. government in a tax-deferred account that will track the stock market. As in, these things are going to grow for a minimum 18 years, and that's a lot of money for a lot of people, but it also means every time someone is born, basically for a 4-year period, we're going to see the market slowly but surely get more money pouring into it, and I have the exact numbers for you. So right here, asking ChatGPT, how many kids are born in the US each year? And the answer is about 3.6 million. But once again, that's just for 1 year. Imagine what that's going to mean for a 4-year period where there's about 10,000 births per day. Think about the money that's going to be flowing into the market because of this. And then also for those of you who are curious about how much it's going to grow, well, historically, this is about a 6x return, and that's just for the first 18 years. Obviously, you don't have to take the money out when you're 18, so it can grow and grow and grow. But roughly in 18 years, historically, the S&P 500 has returned about a 6x return. If you ask me, this is phenomenal. Not only is it a nice inflow to the overall market system, but it's going to teach so many people about the market. It's going to start their account early. They're going to learn more about compound growth. I think this is phenomenal. If you look at any research article suggesting is it better or worse for people to get invested into the market earlier on in life, it says hands down, the earlier, the better. And all of a sudden, if we had this 4-year group of all kids being born in the US as in citizens, all starting their investments this early, I think nothing will come from it but a positive return financially. But also, what does that mean for Wall Street as a whole? More people, more knowledgeable about what's going on in the capital markets around them. I'm a massive, massive supporter. Not only what does this mean for all these kids being born, but for all of us paying attention to the markets. This is just millions and millions and millions of dollars flowing into the market pretty much every day. Now, just to be crystal clear, this is not yet signed into law. This Invest America Act is part of the larger bill that our government is currently discussing, so it's not a done deal. I just wanted to call it out because it's the hot market news of the day, because everyone realizes how good and how big of a thing this could be for the market, but once again, not signed into law quite yet. But don't you worry, there are other things going on in the short term that I think the market is plenty excited about. China and US trade officials hold talks in London. So that went down this morning, and we do have an update as of market close today. Breaking US-China talks reportedly lasted around 6 hours. Negotiations will resume at 10 a.m. tomorrow in London. So even though we don't have a big positive update, at least we didn't get a negative update, and ideally we're going to get some official announcements tomorrow. But in the short term, we are getting some positive news. According to Trump on the US-China talks, I'm getting good reports from London. So really nothing like written into stone or anything like that, but at least we're not getting negative news, and hopefully as early as tomorrow, we're getting some very positive news. But as traders and investors are caught in this limbo of which way are the talks breaking, bullish or bearish, we did get some macroeconomic reports today that do suggest the bulls are in control. Inflation fears receded in May as Trump eased on some tariff threats, according to the New York Fed survey that came out today. So what does that really mean? Well, it means heading into Wednesday of this week, the markets are now a little bit more optimistic because an hour before the market opens on Wednesday, June the 11th, we're going to be getting the CPI report, the Consumer Price Index, which is going to be the last major inflation report we get before next week, where we have the FOMC decision, where we find out, are we going up in interest rates, down, or are we going to hold steady? But I should also call out on that day, we're going to get the 10-year note auction, and then fast forward one more day on Thursday, June the 12th, we're going to get the Producer Price Index, and simultaneously that day, we're going to have the 30-year bond auction. So these are all things you should have on your calendar because it can have a clear impact on the market this week. Speaking of which, I should call out that GameStop is reporting after the market closes tomorrow, Tuesday. The only reason I'm calling this out now is because the company itself has had huge fundamental updates. As in now they have about 4.7 thousand Bitcoin on their book, and I'm curious what the leadership team has to say about it. And then with respect to the tech sector, really semiconductors, Oracle reporting after the market closes on Wednesday, definitely put those on your radar. So just to recap, we got some news today that suggests in the medium to long-term picture, things might look really, really good because according to the Invest America Act, which once again is not yet signed into law, there's a chance that all citizens born here in the US might be getting a $1,000 account. That's 3.6 million people every year for the next 4 years who are going to be able to grow an account for the next 18 at minimum. That is going to be nothing but phenomenal. And more of the shorter term, right now, it seems like things are going pretty well between the US and China when it comes to trade talks, and we're getting those nice technical breakouts holding above 6,000 in the S&P 500. So in the long to short term, I would argue the bulls are very much in control, and the question is, what is a realistic upside price target? I'm not going to pretend like I have some sort of crystal ball, and I'm going to be honest. I am bullish, I have short-term positions, I have long-term positions, and with respect to the short-term positions, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to ride the trend as long as it lasts, and if you want to see some of this trading in real time, well, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11, I do stream my entire account, my own trading. Feel free to join the party. In reality, no one knows what the remainder of the week is going to bring. We have some interesting bond auctions. We have some inflation reports. Of course, we're going to get news updates related to the craziness in LA, what's happening with the trade wars. And we also have some individual companies where a lot of people have a renewed sense of excitement, such as GameStop and Oracle. So plenty to pay attention to. Make sure you put all that stuff on your radar. And as always, I wish you the best of luck. That's what I have for you now. Best of luck. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Thanks for all the good vibes.